Picture this. It's a hot summer evening in July 2018 in the small, peaceful town of Brooklyn, Iowa. Mollie Tibbetts, a 20-year-old University of Iowa student, is back home for the summer. She's known for her bright smile, her love for running, and her caring nature. She's the kind of person everyone loves. One evening, around 7:30 p.m., Mollie decides to go for her usual evening jog. It's just a regular part of her routine. She leaves her boyfriend Dalton Jack's house, where she's been staying to watch his dogs while he's out of town for work. She jogs along the familiar routes of Brooklyn, wearing her pink sports bra, black running shorts, and running shoes. But this evening, jog turns out to be anything but routine. Mollie doesn't come back. As the hours tick by, her family starts to worry. Mollie is usually good at keeping in touch, and it's not like her to just disappear. By the next morning, her family reports her missing. The search begins immediately. Friends, family, and neighbors scour the town, putting up posters and sharing her photo on social media. The hashtag #FindMollie starts trending. It's not long before the local police, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, and even the FBI get involved. The whole community is on edge. Days turn into weeks with no sign of Mollie. Investigators receive hundreds of tips, but none of them lead to Mollie. The media picks up the story, and soon it's all over the national news. People from across the country are following the case, hoping for a miracle. The community holds vigils, praying for her safe return. Then, 3 weeks into the search, there's a breakthrough. The investigators review surveillance footage from a homeowner's security camera near where Mollie was last seen jogging. The footage shows Mollie running in a black Chevy Malibu driving back and forth in the area. The car belongs to Christian Bahina Rivera, a 24-year-old farm worker who has been living and working in the area for several years.
The police track Rivera down at the dairy farm where he works. When they bring him in for questioning, Rivera initially denies any involvement. But as the interrogation continues, he starts to crack. He admits to seeing Mollie running and getting out of his car to follow her. Rivera claims that Mollie threatened to call the police on him, and that's when he blacked out. When he came to, he found himself driving with Mollie's lifeless body in the trunk of his car. Rivera leads the police to a remote cornfield about 12 miles southeast of Brooklyn. There, hidden under corn stalks, they find Mollie's body. The discovery is devastating. Mollie's disappearance, which had captivated the nation, has ended in the worst possible way. Now, the case takes another turn. Rivera is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico, and this fact quickly ignites a political firestorm. Some politicians and commentators use Mollie's tragic death to argue for stricter immigration laws and enforcement. Others push back, saying that the focus should remain on justice for Mollie and support for her grieving family, not on political agendas. Rivera is charged with first-degree murder. His trial becomes a high-profile event, covered by media outlets across the country. During the trial, Rivera's defense team tries to cast doubt on his confession. They argue that he was coerced into confessing and that he didn't understand his rights. Rivera even changes his story, claiming that two masked men forced him to help them abduct Mollie. But the evidence against him is overwhelming. DNA evidence links him to Mollie's body, and his initial confession is backed up by the surveillance footage and other physical evidence. The jury doesn't buy Rivera's new story. In May 2021, they find him guilty of first-degree murder. Rivera is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Justice, in the eyes of many, has been served, but it brings little comfort to Mollie's family and friends.